Hello and welcome to the 105th episode of the Gochuucast. We might have a bit of a shorter one because we have a hard time limit, but last week was 2.5 hours, so I think we'll be okay. But yeah, we're back to regularly scheduled programming. I'm gonna look into trying to get some more guests coming in soon, but for now, it's just the three of us once again with our anime whims for some
Whims. A
weeks.
good word.
Yeah,
I like that. It's 2 years and 1 week, right? Yeah.
yeah.
2 years and
Something
one
like
week.
that.
Last time was the 2 year anniversary, so that would make sense.
Yeah. Well, the this is another one we gotta keep in mind for the 3 year anniversary tier list. Episode 105 will be in the tier list for the 3 year anniversary. So hopefully this
It
one
will.
isn't an episode
It
of all
will
time.
make the tier list.
Yeah, I'll see y'all
Well,
in a
now
year
we
when we put
have.
this in C tier.
Well, I
Yeah.
was gonna say now we have the tier list. So as long as it doesn't delete the data from your computer or like tragedy strikes in some way, shape,
Wow.
or form,
That's
we can just update from like what we previously made
true,
too.
true, true,
Yeah,
true, true. I guess,
it
yeah.
was like a single use template, but I mean I have the tier list image,
Yeah,
so
true,
I
true,
guess I
true. We
could
can
just
reference
I
that.
could recreate it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there in a year.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for
We'll
sure.
definitely forget and either do something else or just.
We definitely
I
won't
still think
forget
it's
because it'll
funny.
be 3 years. And like, man, remember when we did that tier list for 2.5 hours? There's no
That
forgetting.
is true.
Yeah, that was long, but at least we got to remember some of the episodes that I guess we'd forgotten, which is good.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
okay,
so
you, you
I
guys can go first.
have not had time to do much. However, I did purchase tickets to the Haikyuu movie,
Okay,
which is
next.
airing in theaters in a couple of weeks. So I am excited to watch that. I am. I don't know if I've talked on podcast about my opinions on the Haikyuu movies. I think it's just been off podcast
Uh,
conversations that I've had because neither of you two have watched it. I am very nervous for the fact that they say these two movies are supposed to finish the series, and I just don't conceivably understand how they will cover the amount of content that would require.
Well,
how much of the manga is left
However,
to
I think
cover?
the movies will be good. I just don't know how the two movies are supposed to cover all the content that there is left.
How much is left?
It's like at least three major arcs.
No, okay, yeah. I mean,
I think I looked at one point at like the chapter amounts and was just kind of like, I know it's a sports action series, but I really just can't see it.
I mean, it's possible they could skip something, right? But would that be like kind of weird? I don't know.
Um, there's
I mean, has
options.
the anime thus far like skipped a lot of the manga or like some of the manga, or like is it just like by the
No,
book
it's been
following
pretty
literally
typical.
everything?
It's kind of hard to skip
Yeah,
like sports stuff, right?
sure.
Because it's, oh, you're playing the next team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Um, the short answer is no. It's not
yeah.
really conceivable for it to skip stuff, but I could see if they did, it would be the last arc.
Right. Okay. Is it just like not like would it be like okay to conclude with the second to last arc? Like is that like I don't know. It just if they're three arcs in two movies, like surely something's getting cut. If they're not going to do like one and a half and then one and a half, like you're right. Like
You're making this really difficult because I don't want to say why.
no, you're good. You're
Why
good.
it's
Okay.
possible. There is a conceivable reason why the last arc could be skipped. However, I also think it is a really good arc, and I would be very disappointed if it was skipped.
Okay. Understandable. Understandable. Okay. Fair enough.
all right. Well, things we can talk about. Uh, I guess that yeah, I guess I can't spoil anything actually, but I have
Maybe
finally
careful.
gotten back to watching a little bit of anime.
Let's go.
Some seasonals, also some non-seasonals. Um, so I guess I'll just start with I have once again continued on my Hibike journey. I watched the movie that covered their second year, and then I watched the little OVA interlude between season 2 and 3, and I've watched a couple episodes of season 2, so I'm on a Shmoob again.
Okay, so there's season. Oh wait, you said there's a OVA between season 2 and 3, and now you're watching season two
No,
or three.
there's a movie, and then there's
Yeah.
a OVA that's like a bridge between like the movie and season
Oh.
3, and then I've started
Okay,
season
gotcha.
3.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Shit.
Um, and the movie, I'd say I probably liked about as much as season 1. I feel like condensing an entire year to one movie obviously causes some issues, aka I only cared about like one new character. um, it's just I don't know. They like it's so odd that that was like the choice there, because like surely there's the content to make like a season out of it, but
I would think so too.
to squish
It
it down,
is.
it's like
I think I remember seeing the volume breakdown, and it is like the shorter section of it. So, like, there definitely is more content that they could have done a season. But I also, when I was looking at the breakdown, it kind of looked like the um the movie content was just kind of this had to happen in terms of what was written, and they just kind of wrote it, and it's kind of like a lame duck arc.
yeah, it's
That's
just
kind of on purpose. Like it's written like it's supposed to be that um section of the story that just like kind of happened for the characters, and there are important things that happen during it, but not necessarily like narratives as much.
yeah. It's just odd. Yeah, I don't know. It's like we lose some of the characters that like obviously it took 2 seasons to lose like the third years we knew initially, and then the new one, obviously the second years go into year 3, and they just get like kind of a passing remark as to their leaving. I guess you can't really do it like the big emotional like 2 times in a row because we've already been through this like a season ago, but
Mhm.
it still feels a little awkward. I mean, it was still fine, like the content. Um, I guess I can see not wanting to make a whole season out of it, but there are like important character relation things that happen, and then it's just also even like the new coming characters. It feels a little unfair to them. Like the one in my profile picture right now for Discord is the only one I gave a fuck about, and that was Kanade. And then everyone else just like kind of there to like fill space. I mean, they're present in season 3, and hopefully they'll get some more screen time. But with that also comes there are even more new first years that have to what's it called, like be like written in for me to care
Yeah,
about, and I
and I
don't.
still don't really care about the last first years.
Yeah, we gotta
Um,
get some of these characters up to speed, and it's like, is the season enough? And I guess we'll find out. Cause I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Cause like the OVA wasn't even like the start of year 3; it was like the end of year 2 a little bit more. Um, but the second years, or not the second years, the third years had already like quit the club because they were doing college stuff, and so like I didn't even get like a proper send off for them. They got like a quick passing goodbye in season 3, and it's like, oh well, I guess that happened. The one thing I will say is that Liz and the Bluebird like kind of supplements this issue because it
yeah,
does focus on the third years a lot, um, as opposed to like Kumiko. But yeah, hey, with that, if I had not seen Liz and the Bluebird, this would have meant it probably would have been an even worse experience. Like, I would have been very upset with, like, the treatment of the characters and such, but there was that to supplement it a little bit.
I missed if you talked about it, but these like extra episodes, is it just like an OVA or like is it?
Like, yeah, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah,
season 3 is supposed to have, like, 6 extra things in Blu-ray, but,
yeah.
like, I don't know if those are, like, 6 shorts or, like, 6 whole-ass extra episodes.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah.
I have no idea what they are.
Okay, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. I was just curious because I've never seen anything like. I mean, I don't know. Extra episodes is like
Yeah, 6 extra
it's just
episodes
an
feels
interesting title
insane.
for like a
I just,
series.
yeah, I mean, I have no idea.
Okay,
I wouldn't
okay.
be
I'm
surprised
just
if they're,
curious.
like, shorter things, but I mean, it says episodes. I guess I'll find out when that happens, but
That happened, yeah, in June or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
like an extra episode with each volume. I don't know. It would feel awkward to, like, store 6 episodes with, like, just, like, after the fact instead of, like, just airing them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they'll come out with each Blu-ray, which means technically we can get, like, fan subs for them, but I don't know how
Oh,
long
okay.
that'll take.
Yeah.
I mean,
Critically.
the OVA had, I don't know why the fuck because Crunchyroll has season 3, but they'd never, like, licensed the OVA, which is, like, a must-watch. And so I wonder how many people, anyone who watches it legally is, like, physically incapable of continuing the series without, or, I mean, it's not, like, required, but it's, like, a nice thing to have. Um, and so, I don't know, anyone who actually wanted to see all the Hibike content legally could not do that. And so,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. The fan subs were fine, though. Maybe, like, one little quirky mistake every now and then, but, like, infinitely better than, like, you know, like some of the girls band cry stuff that had been put into subtitled form,
Dude, I
which
still haven't. Yeah.
I think those are actually, like, fine to watch on whatever sites now, as long as you, because I waited a little bit to watch episode, I think it was episode 5 or 6. I think it was 5, yeah. It was episode 5, and the subs were actually, like, good on episode 5, and so I think that they're being updated to, like, good versions on these sites.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we love things not getting licensed.
Yeah, I still haven't got around to it just because I'm like so just I was just frustrated when I couldn't watch episode one like initially when it came out. But I don't know, whatever. It'll happen eventually. So
You can
I'll
find your French subs.
yeah, I thought about that too, but I just didn't bother looking it up at the time. So I don't know. Eventually, because I was excited, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, we've talked about that.
Yeah,
Um,
it'd be like that.
have you? I assume you've caught up with some of the seasonals. I had too. So
Yeah, I caught up. Well, now I'm an episode behind on Windbreaker. Windbreaker, I think it's just gonna be what it was in episode 1 and 2, basically, where
oh yeah,
it's like really good fight choreography, like extremely good.
yeah,
Everything else, I don't care.
mid.
I do not care about the characters. I do not care about the plot happening. Not that there's much of a plot right now. I do not care about anything at all. But fights are really cool, and that's about it. Like,
Based.
I mean, it's extremely, like, I'm surprised. Like, they had the episode 1 fight that was really good. They had some decent stuff after that, which was more like, I think talked about it before. I think with Spellblades, where it was like not hyper, like, animated, but it was well cut to the point where the fight flowed very well, and so it looked better than it probably would in, like, some other anime that would just, like, I don't know, animate like a punch or something, and then do, like, the motion lines, that type of shit. This anime doesn't do that, though. It just cuts the animation in a way that makes it look fluid.
Gotcha. Yeah. I
But
yeah.
yeah,
I remember you showed that clip of the show, and I thought the animation was great. So I don't know.
yeah. Some of the other fights, I the more recent ones feel more technically impressive, even if they're not, like, um I don't know how to describe it. Like, the episode 1 is really flashy, and there's, like, one guy versus a bunch of people, and so there's a lot of movement happening. But I think the movement in some of the more recent episodes feels more technically difficult to pull off. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It looks really good though.
Okay.
But if in a world where this was animated by like fuck dude, I don't know. What's like a Silver Link or some shit, then I'd be asleep. It would not be good. I mean, this is probably still like a 7 out of 10 at best. It's like, I don't know, kind of like solo leveling.
Peak mid. Is that what you'd
Yeah,
call
like
it? Aggressively
it's
mid.
fun
Wait.
to watch,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's
Because
like,
of the fight. Yeah.
yeah, just but purely because of the fights. It is
Yeah.
literally just like solo, and I do not give a fuck about anything happening but fight cool, and so I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Understandable. Fair enough. I assume you caught up with the train show. I don't know why I can
I
never
did.
remember the
The
freaking
most
full
recent
name.
episode was certainly interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so what I think last time we talked about it was 2 weeks ago. I was at like episode 4, I think, or I just finished episode 4 at the time, and I really liked it. Uh, and then like the past 3 episodes that I watched earlier this week, I still like the show, but it's definitely like I kind of wanted to like go somewhere. I don't know how to describe it, but it just feels kind of like how do I describe it? The first 2 or 3 episodes, the mystery of the show was like um, very compelling to me. But now it's like not as compelling. I don't know how to describe it, but I just don't. I didn't find the last 3 episodes like as interesting as I found the first couple.
Say the
Essentially,
last 2 episodes with like the zombie stuff was
yeah,
not very compelling.
yeah,
I it kind of like hurt my view on like our main character Chizuru a little bit.
yeah,
Like I don't think the arc they wrote for her was very well done at all. If I don't know, uh, yeah, it's just awkward right now.
yeah.
I mean, it's got more episodes to like fix that. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. There's still some few episodes left, so I'm not like um not saying it's like doomed or anything, but I don't know. I was just a little bit
Nope,
disappointed
you're
in the
saying
past
it's
few
doomed.
episodes. It's doomed.
He
I don't
said
know.
it sucks.
It's I mean, it's still
Yeah, I'll say
interesting.
I think Jellyfish is definitely overtaken it as my favorite of the season.
I still have to catch up on that one. I'm like I think 3 or 4 episodes behind, but yeah. Um like how much like because when I stopped it was or I think I think I had watched the first 3 episodes. I think this was like not before last week, but the previous week. So like, has it advanced? I mean, I assume since like they kind of got together as like the group, like they've just been like progressing, like as a team, right? Like that's kind of been the past few episodes. I assume. Like, is it a lot better than it was in the first few episodes, or how has it like progressed recently? Like, what makes it your favorite this season?
I think like the production is probably one of the most important
Yeah,
things, but also the character interactions.
yeah,
I'm not going to spoil some more
yeah. No.
recent episodes, but there's some interesting development between that. The character movement in the most recent episode was really, really good. You know, there's some fun music in there. Like I feel like usually with some of these, like, oh, we're gonna be like an artist group or whatever. They'll get like
Yeah.
a what, you know, it all leads up to their one fucking song they come out with. But this one is like, you know, we got like 3 episodes in a row with like a song at the end.
Okay.
Uh, and there's still some other performances that have happened. You know, it's I just like the vibes of it right now. I think
Okay.
it's just well produced, pretty like well enough written to where I'm interested in anything that's happening. We'll see where it goes from here because I don't really know, but you know we got half the season left to keep it as my favorite for the season, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Um, okay. I'll have to catch up with that one. The other one I caught up with was Bartender, which I don't know if you guys are still watching, but um,
I haven't watched it in a while, but I'll
okay.
catch up
It's
eventually.
it's it's. I don't think it's gotten that much better. but I still like it just because of
The
the
concept.
different type. What's that?
I said the concept.
Yeah, the concept. Okay, yeah, but I think the main thing I really like is like because different types of characters come to the bar, like every episode essentially. There's like a new kind of story. It's kind of like is episodic the right word? Like I don't know. It's like
I mean,
they
episodic's
interact.
probably close. Like, I think there. I mean, there's technically the overarching plot, unless they completely abandon
Yeah,
that. But
exactly. Yeah, yeah. There's an overarching like theme or like struggle, and then just through the individual character interactions, and there have been new characters introduced as well. Um, every episode like feels different. It's probably the best way I can describe it. I don't think it's gotten much better, but I think because each episode feels different, it feels kind of fresh, I guess. So I'm always excited to watch the next episode just because like I don't know who I'm going to meet in that episode. It might be someone else. It might be someone related to some other side character that um, appeared in episode 3 or something like that, or someone related to the main characters, things like that. And obviously, yeah, the concept I like. I got introduced to a lot of, or not a lot, but like a few new drinks that I haven't ever tried or known existed. So I don't know. It's cool. It's just a cool show. It's like very chill, but it's very like yeah, it's just an interesting concept to me specifically. So I really like it. I think uh, compared to Train to the End of the World, it's a little more like grounded in reality. So that's a good change of pace.
I mean,
But
it's like
yeah,
two completely very different
oh yeah,
shows.
completely different. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. The other Train to the End of the World, we have like mushrooms in certain parts of our body, and then this guy's just serving, cosmopolitans to random businessmen. So
You
yeah,
put it much more deviously than it probably actually is.
yeah,
Like the end of the world, but you know,
yeah. Uh, but yeah, it's been good. Um,
yeah.
I think those are the ones you have caught up with, but there's some others that I'm gonna work on this week probably, like the jellyfish show. So yeah.
Yeah. I guess the other ones I've stayed current with, Yozakura Family we've talked about. It's not like anything different so far. It's just
Mhm.
a nice cute watch. The most recent episode has some interesting like cuts of animation. Like people, are like, what the fuck? Like animation in my Japanese anime? What? What happened there? But I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
they were pretty like shortcuts, but they were still good looking. Um, but then like Kaiju 8, I've stayed current with. It's I don't know how to describe it. I enjoy it, but I also am like not particularly invested right now. I don't feel like. Uh, the animation's really really good. The world is pretty cool. Even if it's like I don't know, it's like Attack on Titan kind of. I mean, I don't know. There's some
Yeah,
very obvious Attack on Titan
yeah.
uh influence in this one, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's like extremely I don't know, it's extremely tropey but fun still, I guess.
Mhm.
The main character
Probably doesn't have
is
to be bad, right? Yeah.
interesting. It's like the one trope it does break is that the fucking main character is like not some like come up like from zero to hero type guy. I mean he's zero to hero, but like he's not like some random kid. He's fucking 30, his body is falling apart, everything sucks, you know. And so it's a different type of main character, even if you know his
just
personality
like
is
me for real,
still
for
kind of
real.
childish. But um, yeah, it's fun enough. Well, I mean, it still has plenty of episodes to potentially, um, wrap me in a bit more, but we'll see. It's not something I think I'm gonna like scramble to read afterward or anything. But I've enjoyed it so far. Pretty decent soundtrack, even though I don't really like the opening and ending, but the actual music in the show is pretty good. And then I've stayed current with Konosuba season 3, which
Is it good?
this is definitely the best installment of Konosuba, like
Ooh, okay.
bar none. I've actually found the season very funny. As a Konosuba not carer, I like season 3.
Not care. That's a good title. Very indifferent.
Yeah, like I
You're not a
mean,
hater.
I
You're not. Yeah.
generally enjoyed like every other piece of Konosuba, but Konosuba season 3 has actually been funny. There's still some out of pocket stuff that I don't really find funny, but otherwise it's like, you know, it's definitely it's just anime is sunny, always sunny. And just watching a bunch of terrible people do things but in fantasy world instead of
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
What do you mean Philadelphia isn't a fantasy world?
Dude, Philadelphia's crazy.
Yeah,
Philadelphia is a very interesting place. That's for sure.
they don't got cheesesteaks in Konosuba.
That's true. It's true.
You
It's
don't
true.
know that.
That's true. They very well could. And I don't know. Maybe it's like an older Philadelphia or something. Time traveled. I don't
The
know.
final chapter of Konosuba reveals to us that it was Philadelphia the whole time.
Yeah, who knows what's going on there? I guess this I could go to Philadelphia and just find the Konosuba cast. You never know. But yeah, I mean I've enjoyed it. It's something non-anime. Even well, I still have another anime thing to talk about, but I'll change course here. You know, we'll
I do
throw
too, but yeah, go ahead.
viewers off guard. I've started a new manga recently that I had bought the things for. I started Witch Hat Atelier. Oh, we talked about Witch Hat Atelier.
Yeah, I
actually.
think you mentioned this before, but
I can't remember. I think I just said I
We did
bought it,
talk
but I actually
about it,
started
yeah.
reading it.
Because we were talking about their goofy hats.
yeah, the dunce cap.
Yeah, they've grown on me a little bit. I don't know. Those who know me closer know I've been a Witch Hat uh appreciator. Two of my top 3 have big old witch hats, and so or top 3 characters rather. And so you know, seeing these dunce caps, I'm like, okay, I'll let them cook. I still think the hats are kind of dumb, but I started the manga, and so hats aside, um, I really enjoyed the start of it so far. I would say I put volume 1 at like an 8 out of 10. The second one I don't think was as it's difficult. I don't think it was as strong as like a volume individually, but there are a lot of things that it does with its art that I really like. I feel like it does. It's not like a horror manga or anything, but when it has moments that are meant to be like more intimidating, it really knows how. Actually, no, that was that part of volume 1? Shit, no, yeah, it was, wasn't it? Okay, never mind. I was trying to attribute things that happened in volume 1 to fucking volume 2. Volume 2, well, I was not as good as volume 1, but I still enjoyed it. Volume 1 was really good. Like, the art is incredible. I would kind of compare it to Metalist in terms of art, except maybe like I don't mean more polished as like a derogatory thing towards Metalist. Metalist is much more like sketchy art style, while this one kind of feels like the same type of art, but it's like more refined, I guess, rather than rough, which is obviously a stylistic choice, but
Yeah. How many volumes did you purchase? I forgot you mentioned.
I have 11 on the shelf right now. I think 12 like literally just
Holy-
came out. I haven't gotten it yet, but
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
but yeah, I've read the first 2 volumes. I've liked it. I've liked it so far. I think it's a very interesting magic system. I won't spoil it because it like the how the magic system works is like a bit of a spoiler for the very first start of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting world so far. Like it has me invested. Like even if I didn't wasn't as into volume 2 as I was volume 1, I'm definitely like I feel like volume 3 should be interesting because I feel like volume 2 did a lot of setting up. I think as the story continues, I think things are going to continue to get more interesting over time. You know, volume 1, obviously, I'm learning about the world and stuff, so I'm going to be the most invested. Which I mean, still learning in volume 2, but it's just been an enjoyable watch so far. Or watch, God, read. Jesus. But yeah.
It's kind of a watch still.
I am using my eyes to watch the pages as I turn them. It's nice reading something physically. I don't know why. It's like having like the thing in my hand makes the art just look better. Like it would still look good on like a digital surface, but just having it in hand makes it just looks nice on the page.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like a difference with like I don't know, just how like sounds really stupid, but like how light interacts with like freaking a screen or like paper. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like a definitely like a real thing. Like it's not, yeah.
Yeah, I usually like read later at night, and so I get to turn on I have like two lamps next to my
Oh, how
bed on
cute.
both sides. One is bright as fuck, and I actually use it instead of my ceiling light because it's that bright.
Mhm.
And the like I have to face it at the wall, just and that the light that reflects off the wall is what gets my
Is
room
what
lit
lights the
up.
room.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay.
I've been using it since college. I used especially in college. Holy shit, my dorm room was really small. You know how dorms go.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, this light in my dorm kind of sucks. And then I plug in the lamp for the first time. Like, holy shit, dude, this is insane fucking lighting. Um, and so that's just like my general light. But the other lamp is smaller. It has I guess the bright lamp is kind of like the Pixar lamp, and then the other one is like a typical, um, like the typical lampshade type of thing. And so it's not as bright. It creates more of a mood, and that's what I use to read. And so the art looks really nice in my mood lighting.
I can't not think of like whenever I
This
think of the
GIF is
Pixar lamp.
so good. I've had it saved forever.
It's just
There's like
it's
there's like
just
no
that
situation to use it. I just post it every now and then, and it's like, yep,
dude, this is the only thing I think of whenever I think of the Pixar lamp. It's the dude in the freaking computer chair.
yeah,
It's so.
It is
Oh,
a
this one
classic.
has like a stupid tab. Okay, anyway, yeah.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
I usually just read it in like during the day. So I don't know. I don't mess with the lamps, but yeah, I get it. Um, no, I think also like a lot of people, you might have mentioned it, but like just reading something physically, it just feels different from digital reading. Like not just with manga, but with like books in general. Like I think recently I've just been doing like a lot of digital reading, but whenever I get a chance to like read something physically, it just feels better. Like I don't know how to describe it. Turning a page like feels right. You know what I mean? It just feels better than like flicking across a screen. But that's just like a personal thing. But some people, it's the same for
I
them.
feel
But
more invested because I'm like I have to like put your phone down, turn off the
yeah,
screen, open the book, and
no
so you're
distractions.
more invested. Yeah.
A fewer, I guess. But
Like if
yeah,
I was reading Witch Hat and then I got a ping from PK in Discord, I'd be like, okay,
yeah. The
stop,
notification, you
break
gotta,
time,
yeah.
and then like an hour later, maybe I go back to reading. It's
That's the problem I have with reading is I'll do that, but then it's just always happening. So I get like 5 pages in, hour distraction.
Yeah.
5 more pages, hour distraction.
yeah. When I read something, it's like, okay, phone down. I'll be back in however long it takes me to finish that. I read later at night, so the chances of getting pinged at the times that I'll read not very high. Like probably anywhere between like 10 p.m. to I don't know if I have work the next day, then not much later. But um, if I'm off, then who knows? Could be
Right,
like,
right, right. Yeah.
yeah, fucking yeah. I mean, like with these first two volumes, I was reading them like really really late, like 1 a.m. 2 a.m. type thing.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I've enjoyed it so far.
That's good. It's good. I also feel the same way about like I feel like I might have mentioned this before, but like uh watching anime on my computer, it's also like very easy to get distracted. Whereas like if I watch it on a TV, I feel like I'm committing to something, you know? Not that I've watched anime on my TV very often, especially not recently, but like um yeah, it's just different. I don't know. That's like one of the things that I'm kind of sad about. Not that I don't have control over it, but like the movement to like everything being like on your computer or on your phone, it's like I don't know, it just takes away some of the experience. It's not a huge deal, but like sometimes I don't know, I kind of wish we didn't have that. But yeah, I miss like waking up on Saturday and watching some cartoons on the TV instead of like going on some website to get my anime. So but that's just a personal thing for
Yeah,
that. um but yeah, let's see. I also, oh yeah, one more thing I did. in addition to the catching up to the seasonals. I think 2 weeks ago I mentioned that I watched. Let me find the exact names. It's of the movies. I call it the. I think we called it like the Diamond and
We
Pearl
call it
anime.
Yeah,
Diamond and
Diamond,
Pearl.
Diamond
Yeah.
Pearl, yeah.
Yeah, the blue pink, two movies, same ish story, like different perspectives, whatever. To every you I've loved before, and then to me, the one who loved you. So the first one I watched was the pink one. To me, the one who loved you. And like, yes, you're supposed to watch them together. I just watched one just to see. That was supposed to be the first one you're supposed to watch. And then over the past couple of weeks, actually, I watched it in like two parts because I couldn't finish the movie the first time. But I watched the blue part, which was To Every You Have Loved Before. Um, I don't think my opinion of the movies has changed too much. Yes, I think you should watch both of them together. Um, and I think obviously there's very clear connections, like it works together, but I think I just didn't really like the story that much, so I felt like it was like very average. It wasn't I didn't find the story super compelling. So I don't know if my opinion has changed too much in terms of like the movies as a whole. Um, I agree that you should watch them together, like ideally back to back. And I agree that it helps to do that, but I think I just did not enjoy the movies in general. I think it's a cool concept, but I don't know if it
I
like
get it. I mean, I think it was a cool concept that was not done in the best way. Like,
yeah, I don't even know what the best way to do it. Like that's just hard to like
it is
do.
an
Like
extremely
yeah.
hard like concept of like, yeah, watch this
Yeah.
movie first, and then the other one, like you'll change your perspective on everything that happened.
Yeah.
I think one of the issues that they run into is that the end of both movies kind of like speed run the other movies.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like I guess as a way to you don't have to watch both if you don't
Right.
want to.
Yeah.
Um, so I think when I watched the
So it's
blue
almost
one,
like there would be a more natural stopping point if you like paused the one movie and just went to the other before it was technically
Yeah.
done.
kind of,
There's like a
I would say like the to me to me the one who loved you, that one doesn't
yeah.
spoil the to ever you have loved before as much.
Right.
To
Yeah.
ever you have loved before spoils the ever living fuck out of the out of the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, it
other
does, it
one.
does.
So
And
okay,
so
so here's my follow up question. Could we railgun this shit?
what do you mean?
Do you
Like,
know what I'm okay, so you know how Railgun and Index have like the quote proper watch order? We've talked about this before,
Uh-huh.
I think.
yes, if you wanted
Where
to
it's
get goofy
basically
with
like
it.
an episode or two and then you switch to the other one, and et cetera, et cetera. Could you theoretically take both of these movies and make a supercut where you've just like combined the movies?
Oh.
No. No, the
Yeah,
answer
I
is
don't think it
no.
would work. Like it's just yeah.
Like,
Interesting.
you could cut out, like, the end of the pink one, I guess, where it spoils everything, and then just watch the, like, literally just pause before
So
it
you don't
Yeah.
spoils
think you could
everything, and
like
then switch, and it's like, you'll get, like, the better experience, but there's no, you can't combine them in, like, a, pause, like, 20 minutes, and then watch this much of the other movie, and there's nothing like that.
Yeah, it's hard to make that coherent. Yeah.
Just the way the timelines are, it's like so the world is really interesting. I think Spat mentioned that last time. There's a lot of
Yeah.
like dimension traveling in these worlds is like normal and stuff.
Yeah.
And so where you have a story that just has parallel universes, obviously just a whole lot of fun, like a whole lot of wacky shit that goes on, and so you can't really like combine the two are completely separate pieces of you know story.
Right. Yeah.
I
I
feel like
think
they're both almost like independent films in a way, but they just like loosely connect towards the end. Um, I don't know. It's a very difficult concept.
yeah, it's basically like the way I felt was like I don't really have an exact number, but I think like I want to say like 2/3 ish of the way. Like there's a very clear in both movies. May not have been at the exact time, but like you mentioned, like um the latter part of the movie like kind of spoils, I guess. Spoils is the correct word, but like kind of like the other movie. Um, so I don't know if there's a way to like combine the first parts of the movie together. Yeah, it would be
I
really
feel like
weird.
they work more as like prequel sequel type of thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's like their relationship to each other is you could. It's like telling. It's kind of like with Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works. Like you can watch whichever one first. But I feel like Fate Zero is probably like the easier starting point and the one that makes the most sense to me.
Mhm.
And so I think the pink one is the Fate Zero in this scenario here, and then the other one is the Unlimited Blade Works.
Mhm.
Except this time, Fate Zero is the weaker the weaker entry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought the concept was cool. I don't know if this will ever be explored again. I mean, I shouldn't say ever. Maybe it might, but
I doubt it.
yeah, it's just so
I don't know. I generally
It's
feel like in like the infinite space of time,
yeah.
like everything will be
That's why
explored
I said,
again.
but it's very unlikely. It's
you,
just,
it's just
especially
one of
since it
those.
wasn't
It's
like a
easier to
stupid.
write like
Yeah.
one story for one movie rather than be like, yeah, let's make two movies with a linking story and then hope people. I mean, I guess it's like a money making scheme. It's like, yeah, you gotta watch both movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like
you gotta go see.
Pokemon games. You know, they have both
Yeah, you have two
versions.
Yeah.
versions or whatever.
Yeah, there
You
you go.
yeah.
It's the same thing. Kind of. Yeah, I just I also think the thing about having two movies with like I guess like intertwining stories is like um it's like how do I describe it? Like the starting and ending point of like each of the stories matters where it's like you mentioned because of the spoilers, it's like you want to make the movies independently watchable, not uh but like you want to make it like better if you watch both. Like I don't even yeah, it would just be it just feels like it's just too like difficult to really combine because it's like at that point you should just make a sequel. Like you should just make one movie and then just make a sequel. Like that's literally it. Like that's what a lot of series are, right? It's just
I
like
mean, I
make
guess, but
one.
like they were trying to be quirky with like you can watch either one
Yeah, no,
first
no,
and it'll change your perspective. It doesn't really change my
yeah,
perspective when I watched one and then watched the other. I mean, partially because
yeah,
it spoiled me, I guess.
yeah,
I don't know. I just think starting with pink and then moving on to blue works better because I think the watching the pink one first makes like the blue one mean more.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's just I don't know. It's an awkward
yeah,
concept.
yeah. Anyway, that was something I did over the past couple of weeks. I don't know if there's any other movies I plan to watch. I don't really have anything in mind, but um, yeah, it was a cool experience regardless. It's very very different from what the normal anime movies I'd be watching. So yeah, um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else think I'd like to watch in terms of movies, but I can't think of anything currently. I think the one I mentioned like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think was like what is it, Weathering with You or something like that.
Do you not watch? I
Weathering.
thought you watched that already. Maybe I'm
No,
crazy.
I haven't. I've seen Your Name. I've
Yeah,
seen.
Weathering with You is just like a worse your name if I had
Is it
to.
just? I kind of want to watch it just in case. I mean, not just in
Like
case,
it
but like,
looks really good,
yeah, dude, the
but
trailer looked crazy when I saw it.
it,
But
it
like
looks like it does look great. However, everything else is kind of
the
like
story,
it's
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
And
fair
then
enough.
the ending is like one of those things I look at and I'm like, oh man,
Okay,
it's
okay,
like
okay.
it's an ending for sure.
Sure,
It's
sure.
it's a choice for sure.
Okay. Well, I might check it out. We'll see. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about that specifically, but it's uh, just something that's been on like my kind of want to watch, but not really, kind of
Yeah,
interested, but not really committed to it. But yeah, um,
I mean it's like kind of interesting, but it's like as it progresses, it's infinitely less interesting, and then you get to the end and it's like, yeah, that was a movie for sure.
yeah, yes. One of the movies of all time. Is it that part of the tier list? One of the movies of all
It's
time?
like a 7 out of 10, mainly because of the
Okay, okay,
visuals.
okay. Fair, fair, fair. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense that would carry it, but I don't know.
I guess another season though I actually was caught up with I didn't mention was Mushoku Tensei. I've been liking part 2 of season 2 a lot. Like we talked before, like last part was like a bit of a step down visually. And I think the content was probably a bit less interesting as well. But we're kind of getting back to, like, I've really enjoyed this part so far. Probably,
Didn't they have issues with like animation, or was that something else? Like, or like,
I mean, like, last season was like,
okay,
everyone who worked on, like,
yeah,
this part has had people return from, like, other things that they were working on after, like, because season 1, people departed a bit.
right,
The
yeah.
Dragon Balls got used, they spread around afterward. It's like, oh fuck, we
Wow,
gotta
good
gotta,
analogy.
Onimai got made, and the director was like, I'm gonna go make an Idol Master because that's my dream. It's like, okay, what the fuck? And then everyone's just gone. But now some people have come back a bit. They got a new director for this
Hmm.
part, who had directed one of, like, the better made episodes, at least in the previous one. So everyone was like kind of huffing copium, like, please be good, please be good. And it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, it
Um,
feels like from what I've seen, the reception seems to be pretty positive. So
yeah, I don't think. I mean, we'll see in, like, part 2, but I don't think it's reached, like, season 1 levels yet. Season 1's like a special production, like, genuinely extremely special production. Like, it looks incredible. I think at the time, like, it was honestly just something I took for granted how fucking good season 1 looked, both parts of it. Um, but season 2, part 2 is definitely more of a return to form, and then I think it's been good for Rudius as a main character because he is probably one of the most divisive characters I've seen recently, to say the least, and he's been a lot better in this half of the season, especially compared to the last fucking half. Holy shit. Um, last half of season 2 was not his greatest showcase. Not that he was much better than season 1, I guess, but I think people expected more growth, and now we're actually, like, getting to, you know, he's hitting his stride as a human being in comparison to, like, anything he's done before. Um, but yeah, I've enjoyed this. Probably I put on, like, season 1 part 1 level. Definitely above season 2 part 1. And there's still time. Like, we're getting into, like, a pretty important arc right now, and so that'll be the determining factor on how I feel about the rest of the season, obviously.
gotcha. Yeah, I know when it first came out, a lot of people had a lot of opinions about the main character. So it's good to hear that he's kind of redeemed himself, I guess.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's still, like, not perfect or anything, but he's
Right? Yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
improved.
There's a little bit beauty, a little bit of beauty in imperfections, right? So yeah, it's fair.
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
imperfection is a way of putting it, for sure.
okay, yeah, okay. I mean, I was trying to be, just trying to be fair, but
I mean, he's a good character. Like, it is definitely not a series for everyone. But yeah, he's definitely, I don't know. The author was like, let's just make, like, the worst person possible, and just, like, can this be a good? Can this be not the worst person possible? And that we're getting to that point now. So,
okay, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
but yeah, I catch up. I have been caught up with that. I guess, and then something new I've started recently. It's the last thing I got. Um, so I guess some background here. I started playing
Uh-oh. We
Valorant.
need a whole background.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. So I
I
started
started playing
playing.
Valorant. Wow,
Yeah.
what a banger! Okay.
It's unfortunate circumstance, but I have started playing it because two different circles I talk within started playing. I'm like, fuck, dude, whatever. I've played CS:GO.
Might as well, right?
It'll be an easy enough transition. What was not odd at all. I mean, learning the game, it's like the hero-based shooter shit, and so it's like, okay, well, I gotta learn.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that one of the harder ones to transition to from like a CS:GO?
I wouldn't say that. It's because it'd be harder if you were playing, like, COD or some shit, and then you switched over to, like, Valorant. Because how the CS:GO experience is, like, important for me to adapt to the game, but it is also, like, detrimental because there's, like, fundamental differences in the gunplay, even if, like, they're kind of the same. Valorant is like an Overwatch CS:GO, like, baby, kind of, and so there are obviously going to be differences. But the main difference between it and CS:GO, besides, like, the hero shooter part, is the gunplay is stylistically similar, but once you actually hit left click, it's a whole different world. In CS:GO, there are spray patterns, right? When you shoot a gun, it has a pattern that the bullets will go in every single time.
Right.
If you were to just, like, be standing still, and obviously it makes sense if you're moving while shooting in CSGO. There is a bit of a movement penalty, but it's not like, if you're, it depends on how fast you're moving, maybe you're like just
There's
crouched
like
and,
factors. to it,
there's different
yeah.
factors to it. In Valorant, there's no spray patterns. It is you click gun, it will be accurate for a few bullets, and then wherever the fuck the bullet goes, the bullet goes. You have like a random spray, which is annoying as shit. So there will be time, like in CS:GO, and same thing with Valorant. I'm pretty sure if you crouch, your spray will be a tighter spray. Like your bullets will go in, like less of like a wide area.
Right.
And so I'm like very CS:GO brain. I will always like crouch and strafe at the same time while shooting, but that is not a good thing because in Valorant the movement penalty is evil, and it's already there's no spray pattern either, so I can't like, I move while crouching and shooting, and it's like, okay, it's now up to to God if I'm going to win this gunfight or not, as opposed to my individual skill, because I always crouch and strafe, and you can't do that in Valorant. But I mean, at this point, it took a while, but I learned what all the fucking heroes do and shit, which is annoying as hell because I play Siege as well, and that has 70 operators now, and so that's a lot of bitches to remember, but they all do one thing, right? And so it's like,
Sure, yeah.
This guy does this easy enough. In fucking Valorant, every other motherfucker has 4 different abilities. And it's like,
yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, now I gotta learn what all of this does, and definitely rough at the start, but now I know. Now I know what everyone does.
It's like that in MOBAs too. It's a learning curve for sure.
Yeah, so I'm getting there, but I have been playing some ranked or whatever. And the way, I don't know, just like every other FPS, Valorant is a very infuriating game because the player base fucking sucks, and you're actually like incentivized not to 5-stack in Valorant, basically.
Okay.
Because when you 5-stack, you're more likely to go against like other 5-stacks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you're just like, solo or trio queued or some shit, you like probably won't. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how it all works, but
Right. Yeah, there's a matchmaking algorithm.
Basically, they're assuming like if you're a 5-stack, you're probably communicating with each other. So they match you with other 5-stacks because the idea is, okay, this is a team versus a team, and not just like 5 people playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And so where I'm at, I'm not like very inconsistent at the game, and so I'm like a lower rank right now. I'm like solo queue is hell, and then duo queue is still hell because Valorant is just it's a pool of people. You either get like a Smurf on your team or Smurf on the other team. Usually it's Smurf on the other team because fuck me, I guess. And so I think probably the 2 people I played with most would be like Ajax and Fami in ranked, and so we were playing ranked, and we won a very stressful game, and so afterward we're like, man, we should group watch something, and so we chose Eurocamp.
Okay.
And so I have now started Eurocamp. We're 7 episodes.
It's not a bad choice.
Isn't season was it season 2,
season 3? Season 3 is airing right now.
Yeah, okay. So you can catch up, and I don't know, but that's cool.
I still think it'd be it's something I started a while ago. Actually, I watched episode 1, and I'm like, I don't feel like watching a slice of life right now, and so I stopped. And so now we're back to it. I think they had also watched a little bit of it as well, but we're past where everyone had watched now, so that's fun. But yeah, I enjoy it a lot. The art's really good. It's definitely more fun as a group watch because, like, everything's more fun as a group watch just for just for the banter. Like, we'd see like a beautiful landscape, wide, vast, rolling plains. Like, that'd be a great place for a Dollar Tree. You don't get that on the solo experience.
Pride of America,
those intrusive thoughts don't stick when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
We got like a running joke that like one of their dreams is like build a Waffle House in the middle of nowhere. I don't even remember where that came from, but it's like our encouragement to climb like rat poison.
Exactly.
Thing, sometimes someone just says something and it sticks as a bit.
I still don't even fully remember the rat poison like origin.
I don't know. All I remember is that during Encouragement to Climb, we were just coming up with, like, the ways for the characters to just suddenly die.
That
Even
is
like
true.
it's like
We
too
were,
wholesome.
yeah.
We're like, yeah,
It's like
certainly,
too wholesome, but then we're talking about like climbing mountains, and so we're like, oh, what if they just slipped here?
yeah, they're gonna slip, fall, die. Random
Messed up,
truck
yeah.
gonna happen. Bear attack. Shit like that. Bear attack has
Rat
been a
poison,
common theme in this one as well.
Eurocamp too. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, we're like, damn, you're definitely gonna run into a bear. Um, our joke was like, right, like, I don't know what's the right word for this. Validated by the show because they didn't actually run into a bear. They showed like a silhouette of an animal, and then the character's like, it's a bear, and then they switched to just like a dog, like a really small dog.
So
uh,
that's a new bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it so far. It's just comfy. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I heard
pretty
it's like
funny
a
as
really
well.
chill show, I guess. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's literally called Laid Back Camp.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
fair
it's
enough,
just
yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we'll continue to probably watch a few episodes after every Valorant rank section until
Mhm.
we catch up. Um,
A good way to chill out after Valorant, after tensions are high, with that's usually what
yeah,
happens
if you
in
feel like you
games.
want to die afterward, it's like, fuck, whatever, dude. It's like the one like saving grace is where you could be like getting shit on. It's like, you know what, we we have your camp waiting for us at
True,
home.
true, true. Something to look forward to. Yeah. Oh, this is like a really like no, it is anime related, but it's like I don't think we've talked about the show too much because let me check something. I'm just gonna check one thing. Give me 10 seconds and then just
10
gonna make sure.
seconds. 9,
Okay,
8.
yeah, you guys have okay. I don't know why I thought you hadn't seen this. Okay, 'cause it's a very popular show, but like, so I think I mentioned it before, but I play Yu-Gi-Oh, and you go to like the hobby. I go to like the hobby stores to play with some people there, a couple times a week or whatever. And at one of the stores, they have like a couple TVs, and they like sometimes play anime right on the
Mhm.
TVs, and they've been playing Fairy Tale, and like,
Hell yeah.
it's actually like I understand the appeal. It's like it's very weird, but
Fairy Tale is good.
it's
It's
like
just not
it's
great.
it's like I understand the appeal. I don't know. I don't think it's my kind of show, but like also it's like the dubbed version, which you can have issues
The
with
dub
that.
for Fairy
Whatever.
Tale's fine.
Yeah, it didn't feel like super super terrible. It was just jarring, I guess.
I
Now
think
that
I
I'm so
watched
used to
Fairy Tale
watching.
dubbed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched
Um.
most of it dubbed until I ran out of dub. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
sometime.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Now it's just weird because I'm so used to watching sub nowadays, but there's definitely some like extremely like horny moments,
Oh
Oh
which were
yeah.
yeah, I
very
mean, yeah.
yeah. Which for me, I'm like, watching it in public, it still feels a little bit weird, but like, no, no, no. It was I was just like watching it like when I wasn't doing anything at the time, and it was I understand the appeal. I get it, like all the fights and stuff like that, and the powers that each of the characters have. So that was like an anime related thing that kind of came up in real life. So it was just thought I'd mentioned it, but I don't know if it's my kind of show, but it's interesting. I'll just say that.
I don't know. Fairy Tale for me is like just differs on the arc. Like there's some arcs I'm like, yeah, it shit slaps, and then there's some
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, that was Fairy Tale, all right. And then
I would agree with that. As someone who really enjoyed the vast majority of Fairy Tale, I do think that there's a big difference between the really good arcs and the really bad arcs. And honestly, none of it really has to do with the power of friendship meme. It's like everything else. Because at the end of the day, it's Fairy Tale. Power of friendship's gonna be the end result of pretty much every arc, regardless.
yeah, I think it was egregious towards the end. That was like the thing that like kind of drove the nail in the coffin for me not liking Fairy Tale as much was like seeing
I
how
think
the
the
manga
last arc,
ended.
yeah, I think the last arc in particular was just really bad, and there's like no getting around that.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. And I think isn't 100 Year Quest at airing soon?
100 Year Quest is, yeah, 100 Year Quest
Like
anime
next
is
season.
airing soon. I've heard, so I read a little bit of 100 Year Quest when it was first coming out, and then I kind of left it so I could binge it one day, and I've not done that yet. But I've heard it's actually quite good. Not surprisingly, I mean, it's just more fairy tale, but
Yeah, so like the
now
people who
it's
already like
like
fairy tale will move on to that, and the people who don't give a shit, they won't watch it, and so it's like, you know,
Eden
Is
Zero. I know has like similar thing where it's there are peak moments and there are also moments.
yeah. I
people
mean,
listen to
I
them.
guess it's just the author at this point. Yeah, I don't know.
Is there like so is this 100 Years Quest? Is it like a spin-off? Because it says like Fairy Tale final season and then like
It's more
what's
of
I
a
mean, it's like a
it's more
continuation,
of a
kind of.
sequel,
okay,
but
so they're just lying about it being the final season. Okay. Okay. Understandable.
well,
I see how
so
it is. I see how it is. I'll remember this.
yeah, 100 Year Quest is like its own thing after
Okay.
the
Okay.
like story of Fairy Tale,
Right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
which is kind of funny because like the story of Fairy Tale that ends in final season only really popped up in the second half of the manga anyway.
Okay.
But essentially, like Fairy Tale final season, quote, tied up all of the loose ends and everything that were left.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And then 100 Year Quest is just like a new adventure.
Right. Okay. So it's a spin-off, but it's a chronologically sequential spin-off, I guess, is probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I was just curious because it's a final season, then you're like, oh, there's a new season. Like, okay. Understandable.
Yeah,
Understandable.
I mean, Attack
Okay.
on Titan had like 4 final seasons, so you know.
Okay. Sure. But yeah. Fair. 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 Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's different, but
Yeah. This one was like final season, but then yeah, there's something after it. But okay. Yeah, that was just a random anime thing that happened. They also at the store sometimes they play like anime openings, and it's like interesting that I like recognize a lot of them now, whereas like a couple years ago I wouldn't recognize almost any of them, but
It's
now they're
kind
like
of fun to like know though.
yeah, kind of like the basis of anime music quiz. But no, yeah, yeah, it is cool. I was like, oh, I know that one. That's freaking I don't know whatever, but
Yep.
most of the popular
Really
ones
sounds
though.
like
To
it
be
does.
fair, yeah. Um, a lot of people playing anime openings in like a public place, like it pisses off a lot of people. There's some people who are like, "Oh my god!" Like not another like uh I don't know, whatever Sword Art Online opening or whatever. Some
Not
people have
crossing
strong
fields
opinions about like
I
again.
mean,
J-pop and J-rock and stuff
I
like
don't know if
that.
it's
So
just that. It's just like I feel like a lot of the big pop like iconic anime openings like aren't like they're like okay songs at best. Like there's a lot of great like music
yeah,
as like opening stuff, but not all of them are gonna be like the popular ones.
oh for sure.
Um, and so if you get like I'm trying to think of like I don't know like who would you ever like listen to most Naruto openings as like its own full song like on your playlist? Like probably not.
I've
Like there are probably some.
some of them are yeah. I think I've listened to a decent amount of the Naruto openings, and there are a couple that I would probably listen to again. But no, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
not
like
not like
you
every
know,
song is like best. Yeah,
a lot of like maybe like the battle shonen openings and might be just like generic J-pop or whatever.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just how that goes.
Yeah, I also think like J-pop in general. I actually saw a thumbnail of a video, or like I saw the video, but I didn't like actually click on it to watch the video. But there's like a certain chord progression, right? So like in like J-pop specifically and like anime opening specifically that makes it sound like anime. Like you know what I mean? Like it is a very
Yeah, a lot
distinctive.
of them have like very similar structure in
Yeah,
terms of like
and
how they start and then like I feel a lot of the majority of anime openings it's like around 50 seconds is when like you get to like the drop basically.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean that's kind of true for most songs, I guess. Right? Like most verses are 45, 50-ish seconds long. But yeah, it's like
I
there's like
guess
very distinctive style, and like the. I gotta find that video because like if you just listen to like the chord progression that they play, you'll instantly recognize like oh my god that's like in a lot of like anime openings and like J-pop in general like that chord progression is like so common in J-pop that makes it sound yeah just very distinctive and different from like a lot of things you'd hear in like Western pop. It's like kind of scary, low key. Like it's like it's a very very distinctive trend that if you don't like if nobody points it out you don't really notice, but it's a very common like thread in J-pop. So I can see why some people like might not like it, because a lot of them do sound similar. But
I mean,
yeah,
there's
that's
gonna
just
be generic music, like no matter the what's it called.
oh for sure,
Like
for sure, for
there
sure.
when the Kaiju 8 opening came out, there's like two different discussions. There's discussion on the visuals, which are like fully CGI. I think they look in like they're it's like more experimental. I think it looks kind of cool. And then there are other people like, hey, it looks like dog shit. But
It's like
I was on the
shit.
side of like, okay, I don't mind the visuals. The song is like, you know, Hongshu me, you know, that type shit. You can tell that Imagine Dragons had a hand in writing it type of thing. Like
Yeah,
it was very whatever. And then you know, people who like the song are like, oh, y'all just don't like it because it's not in Japanese. I'm like, let's back up for a second. There's a whole lot of dog shit anime openings. Let's not I don't know. People use like, you know, Thing and then Thing Japan as like an excuse a lot to, I don't know. That's like an argument or whatever. Like I think this
Yep.
song is not very good. And then the full version is definitely not any better because the full version only adds 30 fucking seconds to the song. They phoned it the fuck in for this opening. And
Oh yeah, I'm looking at like the YouTube thing. It's like 1:30 for the
for the
opening,
opening
and
and
then like
two
the full
minutes
song
for
is
the
two
actual
minutes,
song. Yeah,
literally
like,
2 minutes.
and that 2 minutes is like them just saying the same lyric over and over again until the song ends. It's about as American rock as you can get, or whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
Where like probably a minute of the song is just saying the same words. It's like awesome, cool, and the music isn't very interesting either. I don't know. It's just it's fine, I guess. It's just not something that, you know, it's not my. I mean, everyone has different tastes in music or whatever. But I just feel like for as generic as anime openings can be, this is just like another. It's like just the American take on generic anime openings at this point. I
Yeah.
don't know. The ending is also like a fucking One Republic ending. It's, you know, it's all right, I guess.
Because
Uh,
throwback, holy.
yeah, I don't know. It experimental. I can respect trying to do something different. I don't like it. That's where I am with that one.
Mhm.
It is very visually interesting. They're definitely
Yeah, I was
different.
watching it. It's the scene with like the fish or whatever, like the fish and the shark in the tank. That was like very unique.
I mean, it's the
Yeah.
whole thing, like just the visual,
Yeah, oh yeah, the whole thing for sure. That was just like one
just
of
the
the scenes
way
that
the
stood
CGI
out.
is
Yeah,
done. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
but yeah,
That was all the anime related stuff I had in real life. I don't know.
probably just right there. We're like an hour 7. We have to end
Or like
before
almost,
6:15
yeah.
anyway, so it's like, you know,
We compensated with last episode, which was like insanely long. To be fair,
yeah. I mean, not that
like
this is like well
Trying to
below
remember
our.
if there was anything that happened because it's been like a couple of weeks before since we
yeah,
just
for
talked
me it was
about
just
like
like catching
general
up with like other
news.
stuff, but
But then
There's
I'm also like,
some stuff that came out today, but I can save that for next time.
yeah, it's valid.
yeah, I'm gonna catch up with the other seasonals that I hadn't, and then I can talk about those. Because the jellyfish one is especially one that like I was interested in, and then like I started watching the train anime, and then it kind of yeah. But that's the one I'm gonna be catching up with, and then we can talk more about that. But yeah,
Yeah. All right. Then we will wrap the episode up there. If you enjoyed, remember to like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars, whatever fucking platform you're on. Uh, if you're on the audio only side of thing, you can like go to the YouTube Is the Order and Anime Podcast. Can't possibly miss us. If you want to go from YouTube to the audio only side of thing, you can't click the link in the description because I'm not updating that because I don't feel like it. So Is the Order and Anime Podcast on whatever relevant podcasting platform you use. We are the only one, so easy to find. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST, without fail, except for when we do. There will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. So thank you once again for watching, and we hope to see you in another episode. Goodbye.